Now, you know, for some time I've talked about the New York governor, Andrew Cuomo. This bloke's a creep. This bloke should have gone because, as you know, he made the decision to put people with COVID back into nursing homes. Thousands of people died, double the number that they were willing to say because they were afraid of an investigation coming from Orange Man Bad if it was ever exposed about how bad that policy was. Well, as you know, there are now 7 women that are speaking to sexual harassment or even sexual assault allegations against the New York governor. He says he's not going anywhere. But now, apparently, there's a police investigation happening right now. There's a parliamentary investigation happening right now. And one of the accusers has actually spoken to authorities. And now there is a chorus of high-profile leading Democrats who say this bloke has to resign, including Democrat, Team Blue, as it is in the United States, senators, people in the state parliament. Pretty obvious. Even the mayor of New York, who's an idiot, but still, the mayor of New York knows this bloke has to go. So eventually, when Joe Biden was able to muster up the courage to sit down and actually talk to a reporter who would ask a question, he said this.
I know you said you want the investigation to continue. If the investigation confirms the claims of the women, should he resign?
Yes, I think he probably end up being prosecuted too.
Now, this is the latest in a series of flips about the Joe Biden before he became president versus the Joe Biden who was running for president and the Joe Biden who is president right now. Because, as you know, during the campaign, during the election, there was a real-life human being who, on multiple occasions, told her story of what she claimed to be a sexual assault from Joe Biden. Now, you're going to see a report that comes from NBC News here, but after no one else in the American media was willing to talk to her, she ended up doing YouTube interviews with the former Fox News presenter, Megyn Kelly.
Tara Reid emotionally describing what she says happened in the spring of 1993, describing being asked to bring then-Senator Joe Biden a gym bag in a Senate office building.
He greeted me, he remembered my name, and then I said, you know, here you go, Senator. I handed him the bag, and it happened very quickly.
She alleges Biden pushed her up against the wall of a Senate corridor and put his hand under her clothes.
He had his hands underneath my clothes, and it happened all at once. He had one hand underneath my shirt, and the other hand, I had a skirt on, and he went down my skirt and then went up.
Yet basically, he said, didn't happen, no further questions entered into. No questions at a debate, no question at the town halls, no endless investigations in the New York Times. It simply went away. Now, before he was Swampy Joe, in the campaign he was Sleepy Joe, well, he was Creepy Joe. Because remember all of those women who said, this bloke gets way too close to my personal space? Nothing as aggressive as what Tara Reid was alleging, but you remember when there was even a question whether this bloke could run for president of the United States because of the whole hair-sniffing thing. But of course, back then, the person who thought that she would end up being the president of the United States because Orange Man bad, Kamala Harris good, well, she said this about the people who were accusing Joe Biden way back then.
I believe them, and I respect them being able to tell their story and having the courage to do it.
Do you believe that the vice president should enter this race?
Oh, he's going to have to make that decision for himself.
But then, of course, despite one good debate performance, she pulled out before anyone started voting, and then a better job came along. High five, Joe. #BelieveAllWomen.